What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of God Hand Radio. I'm your host, Kyle McKenzie, and today we got a new friend on the show. He goes by the name of Creative Cultures on Instagram. Julian Haskins is going to be on the show today. Really grateful to him for sitting down with us and talking a little bit about a medium that you don't really see much today. Canvas art. It's really dope what he's doing. I really dig it. Hopefully you guys will too. Links to all his stuff's going to be in the description. Amazing artist, amazing person. Check out this interview. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of God Hand Radio, and today I have a very special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is Julian Haskins, also known as Creative Culture. Instagram, creative_culture 757.
All right. So, you want to give a little bit of background as to what you do?
Well, I'm an artist. I paint.
It's crazy though, because it's rare. I won't say it's rare, but very few people nowadays seem to take the canvas as their medium, and I feel like that's really dope that you do it and do it well. Like,
Thank you. I mean, I feel like it takes using the canvas brings back the originality in art, because everyone's kind of transformed into the digital art, doing everything on the computer. So I feel like the canvas art brings back the originality. It brings back the happiness people felt when walking inside of a gallery and seeing a bunch of pieces. So it brings back that originality. So that's why I decided to really go with that.
Cool. And now I'm looking at a lot of your pieces and I'm seeing a lot of different styles. Which one would you say is the most you as far as like a style of painting goes?
The most me. It's hard to pick just one, honestly.
Yeah, I know. But
because everything, and it's pretty much based off like the name of my show, which is called Painting Moments, because every different style represents a moment in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, I feel that. That's cool, man.
Yeah, so this is like, I got pieces that were just, I was going through a phase of just finger painting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I feel that. That's really cool.
Yeah, so like I got a bunch of pieces that are just like finger paint. I did pieces where it was just like strictly hip hop. That was like my first set of pictures.
I think that was when you know Jonathan Kemp?
That name sounds real familiar.
Yeah, he's the one who put me on to your Instagram. He was like, yo, check this dude out, he's really cool. And around the time that I had found your Instagram, it was all like hip hop related stuff, or all really urban stuff. And that really like vibed with me, because I was like, this is really cool, because I had followed some other artists on Tumblr and who were doing that same vein of art.
Yeah.
So finding someone who was local and who was doing it like physically, like not just digitally, was like really cool to see.
Yeah, and that for me was the main thing. My goal when I started doing the hip hop pieces, I just wanted to paint what people knew. Okay. That was my whole goal behind all of this. I wasn't a fan of the mainstream like abstract art that costs $10 million and you can't understand what it looks like.
True.
I wasn't a fan of that. I've grown to become a fan of it because of the process that it takes.
Okay. So you like the way they got there, not necessarily the end product.
Yes.
Okay.
I've learned to appreciate art more. I'm no longer that person that's like, oh, this looks like a fifth grader could do it.
Now it's just more like, oh yeah, I respect it.
Exactly. And I've had a really good artist mentor of mine, Asa Jackson. He explained the process to me of like how certain pieces come out looking the way that they do. Really? Yes, he showed me, because he's hands down one of my favorite artists ever. Okay. And he shows me like how different some of the world's most famous pieces, as simple as they may look, when you actually get up on it, it's layers on top of layers on top of layers of different styles. Basquiat, for instance, I know that's a name that's kind of thrown around a lot. But people don't really understand like a lot of his work. He shows you step by step of how he made it. It'll be pieces that he's written on, and you'll see him scratch stuff out. Okay. He shows you his mistakes, and he takes you through the process. where it's like, and it's like as simple as a piece may look, I respect it because it's like you showed me the process of what it took.
Yeah, it
for you to
shows
get
the
here.
effort, and it
Exactly.
shows like,
And you're not afraid to show me your mistakes.
yeah, that's important.
Yep. And that's how I was when I first started. I was such a perfectionist. I was like, every line has to be perfect. There could be no blemish on these white spots that I left
Yeah.
open. And then it was like I started to get more into art and get an understanding of art, where I learned that it's like,
The mistakes are part of the art.
exactly, the mistakes make the art better, because
Yeah.
it's not really even a mistake, because if it's there, it was meant to be there.
Okay, yeah, I really like that. That's cool, man. So you mentioned your mentor, you mentioned Basquiat. Are there any other influences that have like been like really strong influences as far as like your style or the way you make art?
Oh yeah, plenty. I'm a from a world renowned aspect, I'm a huge Keith Haring fan.
Okay.
Huge Keith Haring fan. I love all of his work, because his style, as simple as it was, there was meaning behind every piece that he created.
Yeah.
There was a meaning behind it. There was a meaning behind every symbol, because a lot of people don't know he went to school and studied symbols.
Really?
Yes, he went to school and studied those. So those symbols, like the dog that you see, the caveman art,
Mm-hmm.
all of those represent something. Yes,
They all have meaning.
exactly.
They all have
He went to
intentional meaning.
exactly, and he went to school and studied that.
Okay.
I got one of my best friends. His name's Ray Johnson. He's an amazing artist. He influenced a lot of my earlier work,
Okay.
with the drawing the lyrics on the pictures.
Yeah.
Of the hip hop artists. He influenced a lot of that.
Okay.
Yep. Who else? I have a friend. Oh man, I just call him Chris.
Just
I just call him Chris. He's an amazing artist. Inspire Art is his Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. He got a weird name. It's like, it sounds like inexpensive liquor. It's,
Really?
It's like D'Olivier or something like that. It's, like when you talk to him, it sounds like you're the
Oh,
Dos
man.
Equis guy. Like
sure. Most interesting man in the world.
exactly. That's exactly what he is to me. He's like the most interesting man in the world, but yet he's so chill and so laid back and relatable that it's like when you see his artwork, it's like his artwork really represents him.
Okay.
So those are some of my, close influences when it comes to a lot of my work. When I go look for inspiration, those are some of the first guys I talk to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So a lot of the work in here that I'm looking at is really, really dope. Is any of it going to be, I know you have the show tonight, but is any of it available for purchase after tonight?
Yes, everything is available and will be available for purchase on my website, which
Okay.
is artculture757.com.
All right. And that'll be in the link in the description of this podcast when it goes up.
Okay.
All right. So artculture757.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so how many other people are going to be, who do you plan on working with? Like, not just for this show, but for shows in the future?
At this point, wherever God takes me, whoever God intends for me to meet, I want to work with anyone who's willing to work with me.
Really?
I'm not opposed to working with anybody. From the smallest child who wants to learn how to draw and paint to the most experienced artist in the world. I want to work with everyone because I want to learn more.
Okay.
That's the whole thing for
feel
me.
that.
I never want to feel or get comfortable to the point where it's like I don't need to do anything else. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I want to
Okay.
continue to learn. So-
Constantly growing, constantly
exactly,
moving.
and I want to continue to teach someone else behind me. Like, okay, this is what I did.
Now you can build on it.
Exactly. Take your own path from what I laid.
Nice, nice. So do you have, so I know you said you always want to be constantly moving and growing. What is your, like, what's the height of what's the biggest thing you ever want to do? Like, the biggest project or like your magnum opus, if you will?
Oh man, the biggest project I ever want to do. Wow.
I mean, it can be like a series or like one big piece, like whichever.
Yeah. It's so funny because I've never really thought about actually like what would be my piece,
That's never crossed your mind?
It's never crossed my mind like what would be like my Mona Lisa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind because it's like I feel that I would limit myself by doing that because it's like I would be doing a bunch of work just to get to one point.
I feel like public perception would determine what your Mona Lisa is.
Exactly, because it's like
Like whichever one gets the, I don't say gets the most popular, but whichever one resonates with the most people, I feel like would then become your Mona Lisa.
Exactly. And Mona Lisa wasn't even a completed piece.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even finished.
Yeah.
And it's probably the world's most famous painting ever.
Like,
And it wasn't even
everyone
finished.
listening to this knows what the Mona Lisa is.
Exactly. And I guarantee you that probably wasn't even his favorite painting.
Probably.
It probably wasn't even his favorite. Because but to the rest of the world, it's just like, that is the greatest piece of art ever. And it's, so, I mean, I don't...
It's funny, though, because I remember I had a conversation with a friend of mine a year ago, and I remember saying, I was like, I would pay like $5 for the Mona Lisa. Like, me personally,
Yeah.
I don't like the Mona Lisa that much, but I understand why so many people do.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, art only means as much as you put into it.
Exactly.
And I have no like spiritual ties to the Mona Lisa.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't do anything for me. There are some pieces by like my friends that are like, wow, this may be the greatest piece of art ever of all time. Like that Chance piece over there.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that Chance piece.
Thank you.
But it's like, yeah, so it was weird saying it then, because like he was like, really, like only $5? I was like, if that.
But that's the purpose of art. Art creates discussion.
Yeah.
Art creates conversation. So to someone, like for me, I'm not that great of a fan of Basquiat's work.
Mhm.
I respect it, but I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, there is a
So
difference.
it's like, I'll see it and it's like, okay, I don't understand it. But to someone else, that's the greatest painting they've ever seen in their life.
yeah,
And so, I mean, and I carry my art the same way, even though it's pieces that I have that I may not be a fan of, but to someone else, it's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so, I don't know.
art is subjective, and
it-
that's what makes art great.
Exactly, because it's continuously causing conversation. No
Yep.
matter what piece it is, it causes a conversation. It causes someone to stop and say, okay, could I put this in my house? How much does it cost? Do I really like this? And it causes someone else to say, why do you like it?
Yeah, and then you get to explain yourself. You get
Exactly.
to talk about it, and you get to discuss it and figure out whether the person you're talking to feels the same way, or how do they feel in general.
Exactly. And because there's no direct line. Art is not black and white. Art is not either you like it or you hate it. It's both. There is a middle ground with art, because it doesn't have, how do I want to put it? It doesn't have a medium where it's like, this is the perfect piece.
Exactly.
There is no perfect piece, because there's always going to be one person that says, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that one person that says, Mona Lisa was, it was
Yeah.
okay. I don't see the hype behind it.
I like
And
the
then there's the other
redraws
person-
of the Mona Lisa though. Like people who take that Mona Lisa and edit it.
Yeah, I
those are
love
always really cool.
I love like when people like do graffiti on it.
Yeah, those are always really
Yeah,
dope.
and I'm a huge fan of graffiti art. And
Have you done any street art?
Um,
I mean,
That's
you don't
probably
have to
gonna be
you don't
the-
have to put anything out there, because I don't know if it's
no,
official.
no, I think that's probably going to be one of the things I do in the future. I want to learn how to do it. And I've talked to a couple people, and it's like it came down to like just experiment.
Hmm.
That's all it comes down to. Is I've talked to a bunch of graffiti artists that say,
A lot of the
Just
coolest,
experiment.
yeah, a lot of the coolest stuff I've done has always been on accident. Like as far as like street art goes, like if I'm ever just like out with friends and like we get permission to be on a wall, because that's the only way we ever do things. I guess I don't know. I feel like I have to say that in case someone's listening. They're like, oh, they're just spray painting everywhere. Nah, but if we're out and like we're just messing around, a lot of the cooler patterns and stuff we get is always on accident. Like we'll spray it a certain way and like get like a weird like splash pattern, and then it'll be like, oh wow, that's actually cool. Let's see if we can do it on purpose this time.
Yep. And I mean, I've had pieces where I've tried to recreate a graffiti style just using regular paint. I have paints where it's like I try to use splatter techniques
To
on a-
get that
to get that
effect.
dripping effect. I have a few of my pieces that I'm actually gonna have today where it has that dripping like spray paint technique up there, but it's just actual paint, because I want to recreate that medium onto paint.
Have you played around with spray paint on canvas?
I have a little bit when I first started doing art, but I stopped after that because it was like I wanted to just focus more on mastering what I was doing first before I started messing with spray paint. And it was because I just made a complete mess of everything. So
it just gets everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. So
do you feel like you would revisit it now that you're a little more experienced?
Oh, of course. Most
right.
definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely go back to doing it.
I look forward to seeing that then.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man. Is there anything you want to plug before we wrap up?
First, I'm gonna plug myself.
Always.
Yeah, it's Creative Culture art show today, Painting Moments, 6 to 9 p.m., 2418 Cedar Road. Tickets $10 available at the door. Shout out to my guy Q5, who hosts Cypher Tuesday. He's going to be hosting the event tonight as well. Every Tuesday night, 5018 Princess Anne Road. Shout out to my church for letting me have this event here, New Light. And that's about it.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we are God Hand. Have a nice day. And that's going to do it for me here at God Hand Radio. Thank you to Julian Haskins for hopping on the show today. It was great having you, man. All of his links are going to be in the description at Creative Culture 757 on Instagram. Go ahead and follow him. Thank you to you guys for listening. Really, really appreciate you guys. If you guys could like and share, that'd be amazing. And thank you to everybody who made this show possible. Shouts out to Kevin for hooking us up with this great music. Shouts out to everybody who's been supportive throughout this process. It means a lot. Shirts are still available for pre-order over at facebook.com/The Godhand Collective. You can follow us on Twitter at Godhand Radio and at We Are Godhand for more information on events upcoming and in the future. That's the same thing. Anyway, Godhand Magazine, if it has not been announced, it's officially being announced now. We've been working on this magazine for a while now. Hopefully, it will be in your eyes in the near future. Tune in next week. We got a great show for you next week. I'm repeating myself. You guys know what I mean. Thank you again. I cannot stress that enough. We are nothing without you guys. It means a lot that you care. We are God Hand. Have a nice day.